Today we're going to make a cherry almond tart. It has a nice tender almond crust and then is filled with almond cream and fresh cherries, and then it's baked to jammy perfection. So we're going to roll out our almond sablée, which has been chilling. I'm going to link to the recipe up there so that you can use that crust recipe if you like. You can also use a store-bought crust, totally fine. So I am going to use parchment to roll this on parchment because it's very warm in my apartment and this gets soft super fast. I am also going to line a rectangular tart pan, so I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm rolling out my dough. I like to flour my rolling pin and not necessarily the top of my dough. And then I'll just start rolling, making sure that I'm going in like a rectangular shape. If the dough kind of breaks or whatever, then just push it back into the shape that you want. This dough is super soft and nice and easy to work with. We're gonna go about 3 centimeters. You don't want it to be too thick, otherwise your tart shell isn't gonna bake in the same amount of time that it takes your filling to bake, and that would be a tragedy. I don't need these edges, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut them off. And you can re-roll these scraps for another tart. You can also freeze this dough. So I'm going to transfer it to a baking sheet, and then I'm going to let it chill in the refrigerator completely until it's, firmed up a little bit and completely cold, and then we'll line our tart shell. So while our tart shell is chilling, we are going to prepare the cherries that are going in the filling. So you can use a cherry pitter if you'd like. I kind of want like a perfect cut on the inside, so I'm not going to use one, but really, like, you do you. So I'm just going to pick all the stems off first. Make it easier. And the way that I'm going to cut them for this is, and the way I suggest doing it if you don't have a cherry pitter, is you cut around the long ways, and then you twist, and then you save 1/2 like that, and then I use the knife to cut the other half in half, and then I have halves and quarters. All right, we're ready to line our tart shell. I'm just gonna remove this first, and then I will flip it back over. Basically we're just gonna place it on top, like a so, okay? We'll take this will become our new bottom. And then just kind of carefully go around and press it in. I like to lift and then press it into the corner. If your tart shell breaks while you're doing this, just press it back together. This is a very, very forgiving dough. So don't stress about your dough, don't stress about it, just make it as pretty as you can and try and get it all the way into those corners. That's the tricky bit. This rectangular pan is actually a lot smaller than a standard kind of even 10-inch tart pan, removable bottom tart pan, so we'll just trim this off, but it's what I have, so here we are. And then now that we've got rid of the excess, just kind of go ahead and press it in a little bit better. So we're going to chill it for a minute, probably actually honestly about 10 minutes, and then we'll assemble and bake. All right, assembly time. We're going to cut our extra pastry crust off and just kind of work your way around the dough, trying not to pull or anything like that. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble. So this is the easiest tart really once you have all the ingredients ready. So obviously you've got your sablée, and this is almond cream. And we're just gonna plop it in here just to make it easier to spread out. I really just love the combination of almonds and cherries. Like honestly, I don't know if there's a better combo in my mind. Okay, move your tray as you go, makes it easier. The first pass, just don't try and get it perfect, just try and smooth it out so you see how much you have and if it's a good level or not. So remember, this is gonna puff up, so we don't actually have to push the fruit into it because it's gonna kind of like poof and go around it. So I'm just gonna start placing my fruit on top. Obviously I've got my like little pieces that I cut, so I'm going to arrange those in like a little pattern in the corners and stuff because I can't help myself, and that's a fact. So we'll just, but you could literally take these and just go done. Okay, so we've assembled our tart and it's chilled a bit in the fridge and we're ready to bake it. I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees on convection. I'm gonna put it in there for 15 minutes and then I'll check it and rotate it, and then we'll go from there. I just pulled out our cherry almond tart and it baked about 37 minutes. So depending on your oven, anywhere between 35 and 40 is great. And I was just waiting until the top got a nice even golden brown on the visible almond cream. But do you see how the almond cream puffed up and kind of encased the cherries and they like baked into it with their juices? Oh, we're just gonna let this cool and then we'll cut into it and we'll taste it. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, it is time to cut it. So you can cut any way you like. You can cut, you know, like these kind of rectangles. I like with these kind of tarts to make, to cut it in a triangle. I don't know, I just really like the way it looks. Look at this. Oh yes. Oh, I love it. We have that like tender almond sablée crust with like the sweet almond cream filling that's like light and fluffy and airy, and then you have like the meltingly rich, like almost roasted cherries on top that have kind of like seeped in and like put out some of their juices inside the filling, and oh, it's heaven. It's absolute heaven. You can do this with any fruit. Any stone fruit would be great. Anything poached, like poached pears, poached apples. You could, you know, pan saute some cinnamon apples and put them in there. I mean, any fruit would be amazing in this tart. One more bite. Still good.